If you've ever felt like you were born in the wrong decade, I get ya. Modern conveniences may be useful, but they've made us lazy. If you yearn for the sound of quenching hot steel in your forge, the refreshment that comes from washing yourself from a trough, or the delectable taste of whatever's in this pot,
That's really good.
Then welcome to 1403 Bohemia in the heart of Europe.
Henry here is the son of a blacksmith who has managed to go up in the world, slightly.
Christ, Henry, don't be such a stick in the mud.
So now he's a squire and bodyguard who still has to be a blacksmith occasionally.
Stop faffing about and get to work.
It's through his eyes, ears, mouth, shoulders, knees and toes that you'll experience all 15th century Central Europe has to offer.
In this action RPG, how Henry conducts himself is up to you.
There are no predetermined classes and each quest and decision can be handled in a variety of ways. But if you consider yourself honourable and upstanding, then here's your Knight's Guide to Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Sponsored by Kingdom Come Deliverance II. When you think of the words Bohemian and royalty together, you might be tempted to hum a certain 1970s rock song. But turn the clock back over 500 years and you'll be closer to the story at the heart of KCD2. The Kingdom of Bohemia is in turmoil. Sigismund of Hungary has invaded and taken his brother, the rightful king, Wenceslas IV, as prisoner, dividing the people into two camps. Those who support the traitorous usurper Sigismund, and those who aren't pricks. Thankfully, our boy Henry is in the latter camp, and we join him on his early journey as he escorts his master and king's ally, Hans Capon.
Fortune favours the brave.
Their diplomatic mission is to deliver a message to local noble Otto van Bergov and be back home in time for gruel.
That is f***ing impressive.
But things take a turn for the horrific and brutally worse when their camp is ambushed by bandits. Your friends are slaughtered, your dog goes missing, and Henry takes a tumble to rival Humpty Dumpty. With all the king's horses and all the king's men nowhere to be seen, Henry gets back up on his feet with the help of some locals. But the whole affair has knocked him down a peg or two. So much so, no one believes he's associated with the nobility.
Do you know who I am? No, we f***ing don't.
But, ever the optimist, Henry can work his way back into their good graces and continue his fight on behalf of the monarch. Just maybe take a quick bath first.
It stinks like something died here.
The overall story might be about the lofty affairs of royalty, but this is a vast world filled with people just trying to go about their daily business. There's plenty of smaller scale human stories to aid with. There's nothing like reasoning with a ram called Ignatius to remind Henry he's still a man of the people. Walk a mile in Henry's shoes and you'll quickly realise it's a lot quicker to travel on horseback. That's because the two areas Henry will explore throughout the journey are huge, with each region as large as the whole of KCD1's map. It's here that you may start to sense the painstaking commitment to historical accuracy, as both areas existed historically and can still be visited today, although of course they've changed quite a bit since then. I'm not sure this maypole is as much of a tourist attraction anymore.
That's a fine maypole.
The adventure begins in the Bohemian Paradise, a region notable for its natural wilderness, sandstone rocks, ponds, and forests that surround Trotsky Castle, and also home to this drunk chap who was stuck up a tree.
I was starting to think of turning into a branch.
At first, Trotsky Castle is about as difficult to get into as it is to say 3 times in quick succession. But it's worth it just for the view. As you venture out into that unknown and reveal what's underneath the delicately illustrated clouds on the map, you'll discover all manner of settlements, both large and small, people, merchants, and quests. Sure, Trotsky is lovely this time of year, but if you fancy a 15th century city break, then Kuttenberg is the place to be. This sprawling metropolis is the capital of Bohemia and grew rich from the mining of silver. And it also holds the seat of the king. The dense city streets are lined with vendors of practicalities and pleasure. See it as an opportunity to practice Henry's chivalric nature.
What's the matter? Females!
If there is anything positive to come from Henry falling off a cliff, it's that it provides you with a convenient base to build him up into the ideal 15th century European, like the medieval equivalent of signing up to a gym on the 1st of January. Neweth year, neweth me, I think they say.
Cheers.
With some time and experience under his belt from his previous adventure, Henry is already competent at swinging a sword as well as making one. But there's always room for improvement, and role-playing makes perfect, so keep doing the things you want him to be better at. Brew potions to increase your alchemy skill, heat and shape steel to develop your craftsmanship, and down pints to become a better drinker. Wait, what? If that's the case, then crown me king of beers. Within the broader stats, there are smaller perks that you can unlock throughout your adventure, with literally hundreds of ways to tailor your Henry's repertoire of skills. Want to be the knightliest knight in all the realm? The local hero perk boosts your stats in areas where Henry has a good reputation. And what's a knight without a noble steed? Expand your horsemanship skills with Ride Like the Wind and Into the Fray. Or simply expand your ability to split heads with an array of combat skills. Ultimately, Henry is human, and 15th century Bohemia is a turbulent time, so doing everything with honor might not always be possible or preferred, and even a knight can only suffer fools for so long. Talking with people is often the best way to get what you want out of life, and the same is true here.
Who the hell are you? And what are you doing here?
At key moments in dialogue with another character, Henry will have a range of options to choose how he reacts based on a number of related stats. Rely on your might if you want to show yourself as a protector of the weak. Feel like they'll respond well if you pull rank? Make your superiority clear with the domination option. Of course, these aren't one-way conversations. Think about the person you're talking to, your reputation with them, and how you look in addition to what you're saying. The pen may not always be mightier than the sword.
There might be some girls there too.
So if you're finding that Henry isn't getting his way, try to increase his powers of persuasion. For example, if you're trying to use your charisma to come across as a noble gentleman, maybe don't be covered in crap. Visit the bathhouse or at worst a trough for a quick wash and restore your noble appearance. But even if his clothes are clean, you've got to have some sartorial style if you're going to be convincing. So think about a quick change using your 3 pre-selected outfits.
Sorry to bother you, but I've seen you before.
We all say things that we regret sometimes. Don't fret.
I saw you with my own eyes.
Henry's reputation is a culmination of all his words and actions.
I reckon you weren't looking too much at faces, eh?
You're free to approach individual situations in different ways. How you want to use that chiseled jaw is up to you, provided you don't want to use it to speak Latin.
My bodyguard's a monk who can't speak Latin.
Now, there will be those on Henry's journey who simply can't be reasoned with. And that's when you get to the real meat and potatoes of KCD2. No, not those, I mean combat. Going toe-to-toe with vagrants and rebels is a daunting prospect, however. In the nicest possible way, Henry is just a man. Thankfully, he's a man who is capable of wielding all manner of swords, shields, maces, halberds, polearms, bows, and crossbows, as well as just his fists. With all the right training, of course. With a medieval arsenal at his disposal, it's all about picking the right weapon for the situation. If your foe looks like they just stumbled out of bed, slash them down with a sword. But if they're armor plated up to the nines, then put a dent in it with a blunt club, mace, or hammer. But there's no point flailing that flail around if you don't know how to fight. With sword in hand, you can choose the direction of your attack. The 3 long spikes indicate left, right, and overhead strikes, while the bottom arrow is for stabbing. Each attack costs stamina, so just be sure not to overexert or be at risk of catching a blow. Plus, you'll want to hold some back to make the most of counterattacks. Defend a strike when the green shield pops up and Henry will execute a perfect block. Attack immediately afterwards to perform a riposte. Followed up further with chain attacks and combos, and your foes have a one-way ticket to 6 feet under. The rosette will change depending on the weapon you're wielding, but the principle is the same. Hit them on the side they're not protecting and you'll sting them like an armor-clad wasp. Speaking of armor, make sure Henry has all the necessary undergarments on before putting on a helmet or plates. There is a high level of medieval realism here, so proper armor preparation will keep Henry in the fight for longer. Plus, nobody likes chafing. The crash, bang, and wallop of combat gets even more chaotic with the introduction of firearms. These explosive devices aren't exactly ideal in a pinch, owing to their 3 to 5 business day reload time, but begin your fight with a loud bang like a rock star bursting onto stage, and your enemies will soon think twice about bringing a knife to a gunfight. Bohemia awaits, and you have all you need to be a virtuous knight in Kingdom Come Deliverance II on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. But if you're thinking, where's the dice-throwing, lock-picking, insult-hurling Henry I want to play as? Well, you'll want to consult our Knave's Guide to KCD2 to see what dastardly